All right. We got plasma fire images from the UK. Dean sent us images that he's taken, and so I'll zoom in and show you these a little closer with a little better lighting and clarity. And we'll go through them here in a second. But first I wanted to see, now this one's pretty obvious, just for those of you that are familiar. Burn, unburn, hollowed out. So yeah, we'll look at those a little closer here in just a second. But I want to read the email exchange that I had with him. So he sent this back on the 24th, but I didn't open it until just yesterday. And I'm sorry if your email gets out there, Dean, but I'm sure that's the least of your worries at this point. So this came in on the 24th, but I just opened it yesterday, and it said, "Hi, Jeff. Yesterday was a crazy day. Spent all day listening to your epic videos, Opus Magnus. That was incredible. I had also been waiting on a financial parachute for 18 months that was going to pull me out of the mega shithole I've gotten myself in. I had it in my hands, but I can't access it. My head is fucked. On my way back from the bank, I came across this fire scene. It looks like the whole soil was on fire. So many major parts all in one day. I will write back with better details when I'm thinking straight. Dean." And so I replied to him yesterday when I realized he sent the gravy and said, "I just opened your email and I hope things work out for you financially, and most of all that you can find peace of mind and weather the storm. It's not about making it through the storm though, it's about learning to dance in the rain. I'll definitely use your contribution in an upcoming episode. Thanks, Dean. Keep in touch." And then he replied today, "Hi, Jeff. Good to hear from you. I just wanted to let you know my thoughts on that day. It was the timing that was so impactful. You had just put out the 4-hour-long video with so much Muse message. It was incredible. Then I had this financial climax. Then on my way home from Manchester, I came across the plasma fire. 3 major parts all happened in one day. I don't care too much about anything anymore, just my 2 sons and my wife. I know the time is ticking away. It's now about getting ready for whatever is coming, and as you say perfectly, just dance with it. You're a legend, man. And it's that rain that he's getting put through, that storm, that's teaching him to dance in the rain, that makes me kind of stoked for Dean. I know it sucks on the surface in the moment when you're going through it, but I feel even worse for the people that aren't going through any of this, that are looking around, realizing they're lost, they ain't got a clue, they don't have purpose or meaning in their life, so they try to busy themselves with work and anything else that reminds them of the world as it once was, where they were comfortable and could navigate the world and nothing was unfamiliar to them. Like it says in the song, Kill Your Heroes, every day you just go, baby, don't go. Don't just go about your day busying yourself, trying to distract yourself with mundane routine things to try and get back to a routine life in a world that's nothing like routine. Being the fact that it's raining in your world, Dean, is good news. And I'm not just trying to blow smoke up your ass. It's nice to know that someone else is being processed, because this is part of the process. The purification and refinement requires heat, pressure, and time. And we don't have much time, so it's going to take a lot of heat and pressure in a compressed period of time. And it sounds like God is processing you. So let's check out some of these images. You'll notice on all these trees, they're only burnt up to a certain height. There's all these unburned leaves on the ground, and you'll see burn next to unburn all over the place. I'm not going to belabor the point that this is plasma fire. We've been doing this long enough. There's no question. This is plasma fire. If you don't know, if you don't get it, if you can't see it right now already with the first image, you haven't been here very long. So this is definitely plasma fire. But I will point out some of the obvious stuff. It's all obvious to me at this point. The unburned sticks over here leaning up against the highly burned tree. It takes much more to burn a bigger log that big than little twigs that big. But the unburned twigs next to the highly burned log. There's just no doubt this is plasma fire, so I'm not going to belabor the point too much. I'm just going to show you the obviousness. Unburn with bark still on it. Burn clear down to where it's only halfway there, halfway remaining. Unburn, burned out and hollowed out to the point where it's a concave shell Right here, 90% of the piece of wood is missing. Right there, it's completely unburned. Fire don't do that. Do we still need to go over this shit, or is it pretty obvious to everyone by now that's plasma fire? I'm hoping you just go with the obviousness of it, because it's obvious to me. I'm trying to shrink it down a little bit so you can see the whole image. There you go. Pine cones. Unburned on this part of the pine cone, burnt on that part of the pine cone. Fire don't do that, and it leaves unburned leaves right next to it. That don't happen in regular fire as we know it. Definitely plasma fire, no doubt about it. Here's a good example where all the trees are just burnt on the bottom. Just on the bottom, just on the bottom, just on the bottom. Fire don't do that. The ground scorch is thorough. All of the ground around here is highly scorched. Oh, and that's the other thing. With these twigs or leaves still sticking up out of the ground. There's one right here, still sticking up out of the ground. This one right here, it doesn't appear to be laying down on the ground. It's still sticking up out of the ground. Either way, this is definitely plasma fire, and I just don't even really want to like try and... For people that don't know, see these leaves right here that are still attached to the branches? Fire don't just burn across the ground at ground level and not burn up the tree. It always goes up, not across horizontally. So we lose quite a bit of clarity with the lighting, trying to film phone to phone. But you don't need much detail to see all the unburned leaves all over the ground, unburned leaves up here in the tree. I'm already going too far. I should just get through these pictures and tell you we got plasma fire in the UK. This one I'm not sure. This might be the one that he picks up and shows us the end of here in a second. He shows us the end of one of the branches where it's burnt just on the end, the circular burn pattern. Or this might be the fence post, because you can see these lines right here like it's a fence line. And this might be the fence post that holds up these pieces of wire. I'm not sure. That's what that's looking like to me. I don't know why it jumps to the side like that. It's getting annoying now. This was a tree. Looks like it was about, I don't know, a couple feet around, and it's completely disappeared, but you still have an unburned stick on the ground right next to where a giant tree burned. And you can even see a little bit of unburn right there. Winner, winner, plasma dinner. So this is the fence line I was speaking of. These are those, anyway, see all the unburned leaves everywhere? Fire doesn't burn the base of the trees that thoroughly without burning up in. And then it has no fuel. It's just ground scorch. It's all ground scorch. And it all only goes up a foot or two on each one of these trees. This tree is Crispy Critter. I'll just show you the images. It's not even worth pointing out. Watch some of my other videos and you'll see these burn patterns all over. And then come back to this one if you can't see that this is plasma fire and that unburned twigs right here and unburned leaves all over the ground, but highly burned big logs. The leaves burn before the logs. The little twigs burn before the logs. This one is hollowed out. Hollowed out in the middle. So this is the outer perimeter of the tree that was sticking out of the ground. You can see that it's hollowed out in the middle here and that it's unburnt on the outside right there. Unburnt on the outside at the ground level where there's ground scorch right next to it. Unburnt right here. Hollowed out in the middle. Unburnt on the outer edge. And a fine line between the burn and the unburn. And this piece right here, I think that might be a leaf behind it. Either way. The unburned leaves laying on the ground right next to the hollowed out tree. Most def plasma fire. So this one, he's holding it with his hand. You can see that he's holding it. That's his hand back there holding the log. Unburned on the outside of the log. Circular burn pattern on the end of the stick. That's one of the repeat patterns that's a classic signature of plasma fire. All these unburned twigs, just like all these unburned leaves, Dean definitely came across plasma fire. Unburned sticks, unburned twigs, these might even be attached. Yep. So it looks like this stick right here is attached to this tree that's highly burnt on the vertical post of the tree, but leaves the horizontal branches that are sticking out unburned here and unburned here, but it looks like this branch might be burned or it might be lighting. Either way, 100% plasma fire. Zero doubt. Stevie Wonder could see that this is plasma fire. See, I gotta shrink it down to even get it to go back to center again. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Unburned twigs, unburned branches sticking out of the burnt vertical trunk of the tree. Again, the ground, black, scorched, with scattered with the unburnt leaves. Unburned here on this 2x4, it looks like. Unburned here, but so burned here it's completely disappeared. And a fine line between the unburned and the highly burned to the point where it's disappeared. Zero chance this is not plasma fire.